Hi, I'm Tony Jones. Here's a bonus question we couldn't fit on Q&A. It's from Fiona Teo.
Okay, thanks, Tony. I remember reading a book as a child, lying on sofa on many sunny afternoons. It was comforting and one of the most wonderful times in my childhood. Do you think our digital age has robbed our children of the joys of holding and reading a book?
Sophie.
Children are still reading plenty of books. I mean, I've got 2 small children at home and we're surrounded by books and I read to them every night and they're reading lots at school and books are still selling like hotcakes for young children anyway. And I think the digital age has just meant we're reading in different ways and our adolescent people are reading a lot also.
Do you care whether people read on screens or on paper, incidentally?
Do I care personally? No. I mean, I'm still reading on paper. Young children are still reading on paper plenty of the time. I think we're just reading more.
John.
Yeah, our kids at home prefer paper, but they're happy to jump from electronic to paper and back again. And I still prefer paper, but I totally identify with what you're saying, that feeling of being in a different world, even though physically you're in the place where you live and with which you're familiar. There's something about a book that's the magic of holding a paper book that seems to me more powerful than the electronic versions. And certainly reading to our kids was one of the great pleasures of my life. Maxine.
I think I worry more about attention span rather than whether the book is kind of going out of style. It's that kind of ability to just put yourself into a book for a couple of hours without, checking the phone or, things like that. So I don't think the book will ever go out of style. I also do picture books for kids and it's just an incredible thing. Doing like a story time for 3- and 4-year-olds, they're absolutely entranced by these objects. So I don't think they'll ever go out of fashion, but I do lament that we kind of aren't as focused readers as we used to be.
Mohammed.
Let me answer this as a Muslim. To the Muslim audience, I can see there's some Muslims in the crowd. What does that mean? When we do this, what are we representing? Prayer. But what does the actual gesture represent?
Opening the Quran.
Holding the Quran when we pray. That is never going to transform into that for us as Muslims.
OK, fair enough. You never look at the Quran on an electronic e-reader?
We do, but what I'm actually arguing is that the idea of the book is so steeped within our culture and our tradition that it will never, ever go away.
Good point. Trent.
Right. Yeah, it's a beautiful question. I love the way you tenderly phrased it too, because, it reminds me of my daughter sitting at home, my eldest, both of them now. And J.K. Rowling came into our lives about 2 years ago. And it's the most wondrous thing to have your daughter come out and tell you some narrative development in the Harry Potter series. That's just wondrous. And J.K. Rowling has opened up their minds to imagination. And but, we all remember that. For me, when I was a kid in this Housing Commission play, shoebox, red brick, nonsense joint, and, the reading of a book is what took you away from all that. That's a very powerful thing.
And that's where we'll have to leave it. Thanks very much for your question, Fiona. Thank you.